Welcome to the latest episode of Platform. Today, we're going to be speaking to Yandriel Silverio. Now, I last interviewed Yandriel in July last year, so a few months after coronavirus started, and he just dropped his 50/50 introduction section, which was absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out on the Wheel Scene website. Since that time, he has brought out, I think, 4 full-length street sections. He had one in the Pappy's video, Anger. He also had a full section in Lake Effect, a video that he made, which just kind of documented the kind of Chicago and Illinois scene. Then he had a full street part, Hot Boy Summer. And just this week, he's released a section called The Magnetician. On top of that, he's also released a ton of stuff on Instagram. So he has been incredibly productive. And I don't know if you've checked out any of those parts, but they're all so good. I thoroughly recommend you do. On top of that, he's been made official for Conjure Wheels, and most recently, he's been picked up by Razor Skates. So I want to talk about that as well. Yandriel is my second favorite Cuban blader from Miami after Frankie Morales, but something tells me and Yandriel would get on a lot more in real life just because we'd probably have a lot more in common. I've got a ton of stuff I want to ask him about. So before we do that, cue the music.
Hey.
Whoa, that was seamless. Normally people come on here and they're all like freaking out because the audio's not working or the video's not working, or it's like you're a pro at this.
Yeah, the only thing that's not working very well is my voice, I think. I don't know what the hell happened these past few days. I mean, I'm not sick. It's just like something happened to my voice. It's pretty random, I want to say.
Well, you're the one that told me last time that you always scream when you land a trick, so maybe you've just been landing too many tricks.
Yeah, that might be it. Now, lately, skating hasn't been as kind of like as time-consuming as it usually is. I've just been going out with my friend Umberto and just like getting the clip like within 30 minutes or so, maybe filming him if he wants to get a clip, and then going back home. Because I've been dealing with knee issues, so
okay.
I can't. So I don't want to risk anything. Yeah.
Right. So just doing short sessions to try and be productive, but not push your luck, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. This edit would have been done like 4 months ago if my knees were not acting up. As you can tell, I got the Colt All Stars like not even too long ago, and almost all the clips in the edit were with the Colt All-Stars.
I mean, you know, you're kind of insinuating that you've not been that productive recently when that's just not the case. So, okay. Before we get into that, though, we have to shout out that mustache. That's a new addition since the last time I saw you, and that thing is looking strong.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't know what motivated me to grow one. I could grow like a full beard, but it's just too much sometimes.
Okay.
And I think I was shaving one day and I left the mustache and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty sick. So kind of kept it.
I can rock this. Okay. Yeah. Since right, I checked, and the last time we chatted was either the end of June or in July. And since that time, you've dropped 4 sections plus all those like little mini Instagram things. So you had Anger, you had the Pappy's one, then you had Hot Boy Summer, then you had Lake Effect, and now you've just dropped Magnetician. That's 4 full-length street sections.
Yeah,
10
4
months.
Yeah, 4 full, and then I want to say like 2 mini ones almost. I did the ones when I got my Shima coats. I filmed that within like 2 sessions, I think, or something, and then I got a couple clips for Razor for the All-Star Skate release. I got like 4 clips for that, I think, as well. So yeah, it's been quite the 10 last months. I think it's been quite adventurous with skating, but the last 6 months has not been. It's been painful and just kind of like I said, I go out and skate and just get the clip and hang out with my buddies, and that's it. That's the skating day for me. Or I'll pick up the camera.
Right. So was it a particular fall or what? Like what happened to your knee?
So last year, I thought it'd be a great idea to stop doing like weight training. So to stop working out and just spend all my time skating. I thought that I was going to be more productive in skating by doing that. But it turns out that I ended up getting this condition called patellar tracking disorder. So what happens, so the patella is the kneecap part of your knee that's attached to tendons. So since skating only activates the outer quad muscles and the glutes and not the inner thigh muscles, what happens is that your kneecap starts to track towards the outside. So it's extremely painful because there's some rubbing in there and then it gets swollen and it's just, you wake up at night with pain and it's just horrible. So it's pretty much gone by now, but I still need to be very proactive, maybe for a couple more months until I'm back to normal.
I was about to say, does this mean, is that motivated you to go, right, I'm hitting the gym again?
Yeah. I've been working out now for, I want to say, a month and a half to 2 months. Okay. I started to feel comfortable doing weight training, legs and upper body. So trying to keep everything kind of in shape so that if I do fall, I could recover quickly from falls, or I could catch myself and not get as injured. It's very important, I think, to do that for skating.
All right, fair enough. I think we're gonna have to nickname you King of the Shuffles because I'm sensing a pattern over the last 10 months. So I've seen a shuffle top sole, and you dropped another shuffle top sole on that kink rail during the week that you put in the throwaway thing on Instagram. Wasn't it?
Which one was it?
The white kink rail that you said was a throwaway. I think you put it on.
Oh yeah. That was it was a throwaway. I don't know why I chose that throwaway. Because I wanted a true misfit it, and I got to the spot and my knees were hurting and I was scared.
See, that's why I didn't get. You put it.
It wasn't the trick,
right?
Yeah, it wasn't the trick I wanted to do.
Because when I saw that clip, I was like, "Oh, right, that spot's going to appear in his new section then." And then the spot didn't appear, and I was like, "Why would you not use that clip then?"
Yeah. I wanted a true misfit it, and I just never went back to it because it started to rain a lot down here in Miami, and like the day that I was there, my knees were hurting, so I didn't want to risk it. So I got a trick that I felt kind of comfortable with.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of why it was a throwaway for me. It wasn't the trick that I had in mind. Right. Sometimes I set these goals and I just try to achieve them, and if I don't, I'm kind of not happy, which sucks sometimes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The shuffle you did end up having in the section was ballsy because doing a shuffle kind grind on a double rail, and some of the falls showed what can go wrong. You can get caught up in the middle, and you did, but you didn't. Like, you managed to fling yourself back out really quickly. But most people just get tangled and bash up their shins, hit their nuts, and do all sorts. But was that only 3 attempts to get that?
It was 4, actually.
4. Yeah.
Wait, it was 4 attempts actually getting on the rail. So I had given it, I was testing out the maneuver and not really jumping at the rail yet, just kind of getting the feel for it. And then the security guard got there. And
was he there the whole time you were?
Yeah, he was there the whole fucking time. That's a lot of
pressure.
He was there calling the cops the whole time. And I'm just like, dude, I'm doing this fucking trick, so don't get in my way. That was my conversation with him. And the guy, he just saw it in my eyes. He was like, I do not want to fuck with this guy. He's going for it. And the one that I actually locked in, the kind grind, and fell, that was actually the first attempt that I gave it when he pulled up.
Okay.
So I almost had it that first attempt of actually jumping on the rail. Right. But thankfully, whoever he was calling, or maybe he was just trying to scare us away, it's still kind of nerve-wracking, it just sucks because it's it was my last day skating for the edit, because Mother's Day, like it rained all day, and like it was Mother's Day. I wanted to hang out with my mom and spend some time with the family. And then all this week, like my buddies were kind of busy, and it was raining, and it was just like, this is it, like it's the last day that I have to get this ender, and that was the ender that I had in mind.
Okay.
Because I tried to do alley-oop top porn in that rail like 4 years ago, I think, and my arm got caught in the inside, and like
Yeah.
I almost broke it. It was in a lot of pain for 4 or 5 months. I never got it checked. So it might have been a fracture, or maybe it was just a sprain. I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back and do something on it that was challenging, but within my comfort zone, kind of not get hurt, add on to another injury that I already have. So I thought it went well with the edit. It kind of fit the other tricks.
Plus, that's where we've discussed before your intense stare, the eyes.
Yeah.
So that's probably where that came in handy. You probably gave that guy the death stare, and he thought, "I'm not messing with that guy." Like, yeah,
yeah, he was. Yeah. I no, I think my comment towards him was kind of just like direct. It was like, "Hey man, just don't get in my way because I'm gonna go for this." And he kind of moved his little golf cart out of the way. It was still kind of in the filming. You could kind of see it in the background a bit, but he was standing right up there next to me. And that's fucking nerve wracking. And he's on the fucking walkie talkie, and you hear people talking back to him, and like, and there was obviously cops coming.
So what was it? Was it a college campus or a school?
It was a college campus.
Right.
Yeah, it was a college campus. Yeah.
Okay.
So it kind of gave me the motivation that I needed to do the trick, because I was terrified of that rail.
Right.
It's a very, very intimidating rail.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know what it's like in the States, but in the UK, when people are like, "Oh, we're going to phone the police," you're like, "All right, cool." Like that gives us at least another 30 minutes to an hour, because we are not a priority for the police. Like, and when they do show up, more often than not, because we don't really have like kind of criminal damage laws in the UK in that sense. Like, they're not as strict about it as they are in other countries. So if the police show up, they're like, guys, just kind of, whereas in the States, you could probably get fined or whatever, or done for trespassing. We also don't have trespassing laws in Scotland. So you can go into private property, like, a school or a private business or whatever, and jump a fence. And even if the police catch you jumping the fence, they don't have any powers to do anything about it.
Oh, wow. That's kind of interesting. I think we would have definitely at least gotten some sort of ticket or arrested. I've been arrested at a college before, which is kind of like a bummer, because it's like, we're just kind of skating.
Yeah.
Thankfully I was only 17, so they took me to juvie, kind of like the jail for like minors.
Right. You got arrested, right? Okay.
Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, it was just like, what the fuck, like, like, we're not doing anything bad, we're fucking skating, but whatever. My friend who was 18 at the time, he got into he had to go through this whole process, and it was just like, I think he told me he spent like over $2,000 throughout the process. And at the age of 18, that's kind of like a lot of money.
Yeah,
like,
that's a lot of money when you're that age. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, period. But at the age of 18, it's like, how the fuck am I gonna, like, make this money back? Like, fuck, like, it sucked. But can I curse a lot, so that's
all good.
Apologize. Yeah.
That's fair enough. So I also noticed you've got like the weirdest, I don't know if you just do it switch, but I've noticed all your true spin top sides are on your right foot, apart from your true spin top sole.
So, no, I could do almost all my true spin tops switch and regular, except true fish and true misfit. I could do true KG switch now. So I've recently learned that one.
Okay.
So it's like, so sometimes I throw in either switch or regular, depending, on the side of the ledge or whatever I'm going for. So I could do true spin, so switch pretty good.
Yeah, because I saw you did the true top porn, true top acid one way, then the true top sole the other way. But then in Hot Boy Summer, you do true top acid one way and full cab alley-oop top acid the other way. And I'm like, the full cab's got to be switch.
Yeah, the full cab is switch grind.
That's messed up.
But it's
that's
regular
so
spin.
that
Switch grind, regular
it doesn't
spin.
matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter if it's regular spin. That's weird. Like full
Yeah.
cab switch alley top acid. That's no joke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I don't know why I tried that. That ledge is like the fucking. Everybody has done crazy tricks on that ledge, and it's just like beaten up from like skateboarders and bikers, I think. So it's just like, yeah. So I had to do something worthy.
And we know how you feel about skateboarders. You've made that very clear on Instagram over the past 12
Yeah, I think I have. I have nothing against like I think it's just some like majority of male skateboarders that are just like dicks, and it's just like what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like there's no reason to bring that kind of attitude for no reason. Like I'm not bothering anybody. Like I don't post things on Instagram on purpose, like trying to hate on skateboarders or anything. I don't go around commenting any negative things on any inliner stuff, skateboarders, bikers, people who ride scooters. Like I respect all the sports, and I really hope that people continue to move in a more progressive direction when it comes to that. Kind of just like let people be like, fuck that. Like, like
you make quite strong statements about it though. Like I'm sure I've seen you write like this is why skateboarding is toxic.
Yeah.
This another example of toxic skateboarding. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, from the ages of like 16 to 18, I was the only inline skater in Miami for a little bit, at least that I knew of. Right. So I would go to the skate parks, and like I would always have like a really tough time. Like imagine going up to a skate park where it's like one inline skater and there's like 30 or to 40 skateboarders. It's like that kind of takes away like your want to like to kind of push yourself, or like takes away your motivation almost, because it's like, damn, all these people are just looking at me and kind of like hating on my sport, we're saying like passive aggressive comments, like, like just like random things.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, hiding your wax from you, just like random little fucking things. Like there was this one time that they hid the wax from me, and before I left the skate park, I waxed everything. Like everything that I wasn't skating, I'm like, well, fuck you guys. You guys are gonna have to spend some time taking the shit off with your shoe now, because this is what you get for being a dick. I don't know which one of them did it, but they all dealt with the same consequence.
There's a lot of microaggressions taking place on both sides by the sounds of things, because it sounds like you're being just as bad as them.
Yeah, I guess I have a reaction to their initial actions.
Okay.
And I've tried to be a little bit nicer about it previously, kind of like just try to talk about it, but I don't know, it's kind of difficult to talk to people and kind of try to explain to them, and it just takes a lot of fucking energy. So sometimes I'm like, hey, I wasn't bothering anybody. You were a dick to me, so fuck you guys. I'm going to be a dick back, And this is going to go back and forth until, one of us kind of, learns a lesson type of thing.
I was about to say, has that ever escalated into something beyond just being passive aggressive or verbal?
Yeah, just like a couple little breakouts, like here and there, fights and whatnot, but nothing like too crazy, not like anybody too injured or anything.
I mean, if you're the only skater at the skate park and they're outnumbering you, if it turns into a fight, that's thankfully a dangerous situation.
Thankfully it wasn't when I was alone. Yeah, thankfully it wasn't when I was alone. And I do have friends that are skateboarders.
Okay.
Like so don't get me wrong. Like I have made friends that are skateboarders, and they completely respect my opinion on it or my experience. Like, because I'm obviously speaking from experience when it comes to that. And they don't try to argue with me about it. They'll talk to me about it to kind of ask me more questions. They don't try to right away be like, oh, but not all skateboarders, or whatever. I think that one specific post that I recently made, it was like a roller skater who got into an altercation at the skate park, like an actual fight.
Right. And
it was a male that beat her up like an adult. And all the skateboarders were standing around and not doing anything.
Yeah, that's.
And then when she went back to the skate park, she was trying to host this Stop the Hate event, and she's Asian, and they started just saying like racist slurs, and just that's not right. So the reason why I got so upset at that was because the skateboarder that kind of wrote to me was like, oh yeah, but that's not all skateboarders. And I'm like, dude, did you miss the whole fucking message? That just like fly right over your head, you know? Like that's such a strange hill to die on, you know? Like you're reading this whole message about like a shitty situation and you're kind of just being like an aggressor for like no reason. Like it's a strange hill to die on.
It's strange to be like, oh, we're not all like that. You should just say, yeah, that's disgusting behavior and I don't condone it, rather than going, oh, the rest of us are okay though. And it's like,
it's a strange hill to fucking die on.
But it's like the kind of police argument you're getting right now, and it's like, oh, most cops are good cops, and it's like, yeah, but if the good cops aren't standing up against the bad cops, then you know where are the good ones?
Yep. Yeah. Similar argument. By the way, sorry if there's like background noises of like my mom and grandma talking to each other, because I'm staying at my mom's house down here in Miami, and Hispanic households are fucking loud.
Like, I'm pretty sure you just racially stereotyped yourself there.
No, I did not. At least from my experience, Hispanic households, or at least Cuban households, are fucking loud. Like
these damn Cubans, they just can't keep it down.
Yeah, for real. No, you will hear some yelling. I just heard my mom come through the door, so there's like, and it's not even yelling; it's just like the way that they talk. It's just like
passionate talking.
Yeah, very very passionate. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. I had the impression that you were spending a lot of time in Miami recently, because I've seen that you've been skating with. I saw that you've been skating with Grant Hazelton a little bit, and with Gabby Velasquez as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So I skate with them every once in a while. I think Grant went to. I know he traveled up north for.
He's back in Rochester at the moment. Yeah.
No, wait, he's actually back here now. So I skated with him last week, Saturday, and maybe not too much with them actually. I'm just kind of with my smaller group of friends like Pablo Porta and Zach Polak. Maybe you've heard of their names. Pablo is the.
Oh yeah, Pablo from Pappy's.
Zach's he's the one that like editing everything, and Zach's on Red Eye and on Rosie's. I think he's also, and Pablo's on the Conjure team. So I've been skating with them a lot, and then my buddy Umberto, which he's a friend that I've always had down here in Miami, and I kind of taught him how to film, and he's incredible at it. Like he's a fucking natural. Yeah, it's crazy.
The film was good in the first section. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like you got to pick this up like when I'm gone. Like you got to, go out and skate with people and film them, and like he's very talented at it.
So so he doesn't film normally. He was just using your camera.
No, he
doesn't even have a camera.
Like, he bought one like a couple weeks ago, but he knew nothing about cameras. Didn't know how to film.
I mean, he chopped your feet off a couple of times on the landing.
Times.
But that's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I would say they were artistic shots to some extent.
That's a very diplomatic response.
Yeah. Nobody could argue with that, right?
Plus, it goes with the vibe. You've got the whole, what was it, Arcade Fire track?
Yeah.
So, okay. So,
I think it worked, yeah.
What's the reason for being back in Miami and not in Illinois?
Because it's fucking cold over there.
But it's summer in the US, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it's not that cold anymore, but I'm heading back probably this upcoming week, and I'm probably going to drive back. So winter time usually lasts, it gets about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, like in October already. And it'll stay cold from the end of October all the way to like the beginning of May.
Oh, wow.
So okay. I wanted to avoid cold weather for a couple of reasons. One, I don't like skating in the cold. Two, I've been having a lot of bad luck with cold weather and my skates. So, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll go on to that in a minute. But we totally get sidetracked from the section. So there was loads of stuff in it that I loved. I loved the top acid line. I loved the half cab top acid, and then you do like half cab, but it's the other way. I don't even know what you call it. Half cab, and then
it's like it was half cab top acid, and then illusion half cab and spin top acid.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Because I'm not quite facing right yet. It was just like a quick drop to like
Yeah.
That's what I would call it. I don't know what anybody else would call it.
Yeah.
That one's up for debate.
Yeah, I would definitely never call it that. But okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The description makes sense. I know what you mean when you
Yeah.
say it. And then I also like the one where you roll across the wall and like almost split the rail, but not really, and then backslide it into the wall and then hop down. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was, and that rail was a square rail.
Yeah,
That's a square rail. Like
you like fake split it and then use that.
Yeah,
to
it was
jump
called.
into
Yeah, it was. I guess that's called a parallel backslide. So like the rails in between,
yeah,
and then you're jumping at it backslide. So that's called parallel backslide.
okay.
I don't know what the
so many terms now. Okay, but right.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this is I. If anybody else has any, a better description of what to call these tricks, by all means, go ahead and post them in the comments or message me on Instagram, and we'll argue about it back and forth.
Like that's yeah, because like I guess the kind of most famous like example I see of that is Sean Darce does them quite a lot, where he'll skate straight at a rail and like jump over it to grind onto it. That's not easy to do, but you did it with your leg either side of it. That's just yeah.
I think the scariest part was that it was square. So I've been skating flat since like October now, maybe. So it's like I still kind of getting used to it in some sense. There's still some tricks that I have difficulty doing because I was so used to anti-rocker for a couple years now. So that was the scary part, was that it was like a flat rail that was maybe like 3 inches wide or something. So my wheels were touching it like while I was sliding. Like I was kind of sliding on my wheels and the rail was just like full of wax. I'm like, dude, if I get a wheel bite here, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
Because it was a couple feet off the ground.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's not very forgiving. So we talked about the shuffle to kind, talked about the stuff that I liked. What's your like favorite? What are your favorite tricks from like the section, or what tricks did you like have to work the hardest for? Because there are some like there's a lot of like what I've liked about the parts that you've put out over the past years. There's a lot of different ideas there, and you're not predictable. There's certain stuff that I know you're going to do. Like I know you're going to do your half cabs because it seems like you can do that into pretty much any trick.
Back Savannah in every edit that I make.
But you have this way of finding like interesting obstacles. Like, and Miami seems to have a lot of just kind of weird, strange, random like banks and like just gritty concrete structures to mess about on. But yeah, what were like your favorite ones in it?
I think I have 3 favorite tricks. Obviously the kind of shuffle, zero spin KG, whatever you want to call it. That one's definitely one of my favorite ones because I just really overcame like there's a security guard there. It's just like the story behind it that we talked about. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like that one's one of my favorite ones. And then the dark side true KG or alley-oop, however you want to call that trick, the disaster one, the one that I kind of disastered
on the like loading bay thing. Yeah, that was like
that's another one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dark side true Mizzou, but you were top side. Yeah, that's
it was
one
of
those
weird.
Ones that falls into like the gray.
Yeah. So that one's another one of my favorite tricks from the edit because I was originally going to just do true spin top soyal, which I would say that it's a little bit easier than the KG one. But KG was my original idea, and I switched it to TTS. I was going to go for it, but then Pablo tells me, "Oh yeah, you might get hurt on the true spin kind grind." So that's when I had to go do true spin kind grind.
Your mind works in a different way to mine.
Yeah, okay. I was like, "Fuck you, Pablo. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm just going to go for the true spin KG." And I was locking it on almost right away. It was kind of difficult to like stay on it long enough because my trajectory, it wasn't like I couldn't be too parallel to it.
Yeah.
Because then I won't get on the trick right. I'll miss it and hit the floor. But then if I came too much at it, like from the outside, then I'll just won't grind far enough. It was a difficult one to do. So that one, and true top acid revert, mystery Al Cecilide, that one was sick. I really like that one. It was the one on the side rail.
Yeah, got you.
true top acid, revert, Mistral set slide. I really like that one as well. Yeah, that was another one of those tricks. I forgot who I was skating with, and they were like, they said a comment like, I was like, oh man, I want to true fish it, but it'd be too obvious. Like a true fish would have been too obvious there. At least I think so. I would have been like that. That'd be the trick that everybody would do here because it's perfect. So I'm like, I'm gonna true top acid it because that front foot to get it on the rail was just so difficult. Because I kept on locking on the ledge. Like your body keeps on shifting to the ledge because it's so close to it. So then they made a comment like, oh, that would be really, really difficult to do. I think true fish would be easier or something. And I'm like, I'm going to true top acid it. Like, I'm going to go for the trick that I think is harder.
You're kind of like dropping down onto it as well, which I think would just make that more awkward. Like, I don't know, because it's like, because then you're falling from like higher than the object. If you miss it, you make some dangerous choices when it comes to skate tricks, but okay.
Yeah, definitely not a little bit different obstacles than what you see in most edits, I want to say. At least I think so. But yeah, I still try to do my or at least the tricks that I find difficult, at least for my skill level. Like I don't think I'm one of the best skaters, so whatever I find difficult at my skill level, I'm like, I want to do that on a dangerous obstacle or something that could be dangerous. Yeah, so yeah.
You're like, let's just add a little bit of risk into the difficulty. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Danger and difficulty, please. I'll take both. Thanks.
Yeah.
I also couldn't help but notice that your trousers are soaking wet in several of these clips. What has been going on with your chinos? Like
it's fucking hot out here, man.
Right.
It's really hot in Miami and it's just humid, and I'm
going to go ahead and say that wearing tan or cream trousers may not be the most sensible option if you're,
but they feel so nice and smooth, like flowing in the wind. It's just like, falling on them does not feel very good either. Yeah, there's pros and cons.
All right.
Like cons that you can't try a trick way too many times or not gets all sweaty. If you fall too many times, they'll rip. So there's a couple of pros. Feels amazing in the wind, just the way that it flows. Like, and you can see it in the filming too. There was this one fisheye clip that we got at night, and you kind of see the pants just like moving from the wind, and it was just like,
I'll look out for that the next time. I'll look out for the rippling wave.
It was. That's the only reason why I like that clip.
Cool. It seems like everyone's like planned a mass exodus to Miami at the minute because Frankie Morales is back there. Boshy Pope inexplicably has moved there, like just really randomly. Obviously, Grant's been a transplant there for a year and a half now, maybe even 2 years. Like it feels like there's a scene building up again there, or because I remember the last time we spoke, you said there was basically no scene for like several years when you lived there.
Yeah. So I came back because I could work remotely. And then surprisingly enough, like the scene in Miami has picked up quite a bit, and that makes me really happy to see. There's a lot of skaters that used to skate that picked up skates, or there's a lot of more organized skate sessions. Like sometimes there'll be like 10, 15 people out in a skate session. That's kind of fun. Not when you're filming, it's very difficult to film like that, but if you just want a session and kind of chill with everybody and see everyone, there's maybe once a week you could experience that here, which is kind of cool.
Are you into that, or are you like an antisocial skater? Because I find that when it's a group bigger than, if it's a group bigger than like 10 people, I just don't enjoy it as much. It's too much effort. There's too many personalities, especially when you're going street skating, because it's too many people to like corral around, and someone always gets lost, and then you have to give them directions, or you have to hang back, or certain people don't know how to skate. I find like 5 or 6 roundabout of
it's difficult to cater for everyone when there's like more than 5 people. I'm definitely an antisocial skater, like in a sense. Like for example, I did not go to ramping camp this weekend because I was feeling a little bit lazy about it. About like I was gonna fly there, And then my friend Carly, she was going to pick me up from the airport, and then we were going to drive. And I'm just like, I don't even like skating ramps. Like, like why am I going to go over there? You know, and there's going to be a lot of people, and it's just like, and yeah, everyone's going to want to talk. You know, I have nothing against talking with people, but it's just like, I've been just down here in Miami, just like my close group of friends, and like I haven't seen anybody in a long time. So there's a lot to talk about, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of rather do that one by one when I get back to the Midwest almost. Like it would have felt too overwhelming. So I'm definitely some sort of anti-social skater. I do get motivated a bit during competitions, and I see somebody do something crazy. I want to go and do something crazy too, you know, like, but that's about the extent of my social life. Yeah. And if I stop for a second, if I think that, hey, there's a lot of people watching me, I might not do the trick. So
yeah. I don't like too many eyes on me. That kind of makes it difficult to concentrate.
Yeah.
So how long have you been back in Miami then?
November.
Wow. Are you still paying rent for your apartment?
Yeah, I'm still paying.
God.
I'm still paying rent. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna go back. It's probably gonna be full of spider webs and
I was about to say that's the definition of throwing money away. You're paying for accommodation you've not lived in for months.
Yeah, I didn't think that I was going to be allowed to be down here for this long. There was a lot of reasons why I've stayed this long. One, the cold. Two, my grandpa's like kind of old. He has like Alzheimer's. He's like 86. So I'm like, kind of want to be around him as much as possible. Like, he's like, who knows how much longer he has left. And obviously the rest of my family. And then my dad got out of prison in January. So catching up with him. Yeah.
That is the most random statement to throw.
Yeah. It's got
out of prison.
Yeah. So it's like, it's been great. Yeah. Being able to see him again and like hang out with him. And so.
Did you not tell me the last time we spoke that you were solely raised by your mum though? So does that mean your dad?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A long time.
No, he's been in prison twice.
Oh my God.
So he did like, I think like 8 to 9 years. So he kind of came into my life when I was like 14, which is great. I think he came into my life at a really good time, and he's always been a really, really good dad. Like he's great. He's like wonderful. He really motivates me. Like, and the way that he talks is just like, it's very productive. Like, he's a great person, I think. And then I think at the age of like 22, actually a little bit later, like around 24, 25, he went back to prison. He did like another 4-year sentence. So he was in my life for like 10 years, and then he went back. But yeah, I've been supporting him while in prison the whole time, been paying for all his stuff mostly. Like, so,
that's got to be rough having like such kind of intermittent, like one-on-one time with your dad. Like, I can't imagine what that feels like to go that long without seeing him in person.
Yeah, and COVID made that so fucking difficult. Like, I hadn't seen him in 2 years, so because of COVID. So like, because of COVID, there was a chicken pox outbreak in the prison that he was at. So the time that I drove down to Miami, I couldn't see him, and then there was a fight outbreak too. So I couldn't see him in 2 years because of like all these events. Yeah, he's had a tough time in there. Like, it's been a lot. He's gone through a lot in there. It's tough.
So for the people that haven't read the interview I originally did with you, you're a first-generation Cuban immigrant in America. Like, you came over here. Did you say you came over here on a boat?
I came over here on a boat.
And, I've obviously made a life for yourself in the States. That is fascinating enough. And now you're telling me, you led me to believe that, I don't know, you just had a single mother upbringing. And now you're telling me that your dad has been in. That's a very wild way to grow up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, the way that I have 2 siblings, and like we've all, I think, have really made the best out of our situation. I want to say like we've all gone to college, thankfully. And my sister, she's working on her PhD in psychology. She's finishing that up. She owns a therapy business. Like, she's a psychologist.
Okay.
So and she used to be a professional MMA fighter for a little bit. So yeah,
What?
and then my brother, yeah. No, we
Dude,
come
your
from
family
yeah,
sounds like the most fascinating, like,
yeah. She's got like 2 black belts or something. Like I would
okay,
not fuck with her. Yeah, she would beat my ass.
noted. Right.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
not make fun of
and,
Yandriel. His sister will
yeah,
murder me. Okay, cool.
yeah. Yeah, there's that, and then my brother, he was a physical therapist for like 4 years, and then he switched over to IT, like just yeah, and he's into fighting as well, and yeah, there's just there's
Also, I'm kind of getting the theme that all the kids in your family are like geeky scientists, because you've obviously got kind of like engineering is like very science and like math based, and then you just
mhm.
mentioned your sister and your brother. Like all you guys seem like smart kids.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, yeah.
What do you mean maybe? Like
Yeah.
you do don't you like design stuff for airplanes?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Like dumb people don't do that.
I think everyone's capable of doing it. I think so.
I
Yeah.
disagree.
Or at least to, to like, I think that everyone has something that they're good at. And it just happened to be that my siblings and I don't think my sister's good at math, but my brother and we have a very good understanding of it. So I feel like there's people out there that are very good at farming. Like my grandpa, he's a wonderful farmer. He's done it his whole life since he was like 8 years old. So it really depends on the circumstances that you're put into and what you need to get good at. I think it all depends on that. Um, in my case, I've just always liked numbers. It's been very difficult. I have Asperger's, so it's been very difficult for me to communicate with people my whole life. So kind of science and math has always been kind of like my way out of it. Like, hey, if I get good at this, I don't really have to deal with people as much.
You're like, this is great. I can lock myself away. It's
Yeah,
great. I don't have to deal with your shit.
yeah, it's very acceptable, I think. And a lot of people that I work with have the same type of situation going on. We're all kind of dorky and antisocial in a sense, and yeah, so it works out. Yeah, being an engineer really works out for me. Yeah.
So I've always kind of wondered this, like, does having like Asperger's make skating feel like it makes more sense to you because you can fixate on it and like become quite obsessive about like things like tricks or how they're executed or learning something? Because I've noticed that there's quite a lot of, like, when you look at really good skaters, they kind of display attributes of that, of being quite like compulsive and being like, no, it has to be this way, yada yada yada. And I've thought there might be some, or could there be some kind of crossover or link between the two that enables you
I would
to like
I would say so. Maybe yeah, maybe, I don't know. There's its pros and its cons. Pro is that I do become obsessive over it, and I do write list of tricks that I want to get done for edits and think of spots and kind of commit to that. Sometimes I go back more than once to the same spot if it rains or if I don't have enough energy, or there's and then the cons, one of them would be that sometimes like a minor inconvenience will kind of shift my whole like day for skating. Like for example, I was supposed to be at Rampant Camp this week, and I don't know. I've just been at home just working. I haven't even skated. I skated today, but I didn't skate for like 4 or 5 days, which is kind of not common for me to do.
That's not that long. That's nothing.
But that's not common for me though. That's not common for me at all. I usually try to put on my skates at least for 30 minutes every other day or something like that. But yeah, it depends. I became obsessive over editing my video and reading and working. I've been working on this investigation at work and just kind of obsessing over that, and kind of just didn't forget about skating, but I just kind of put it to the side for a little bit.
I mean, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Like, adult life and career took precedent over skating, so it should.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. I guess in my mind, I'd rather be skating.
I mean,
But okay.
I want to be the Peter Pan syndrome for, as much as anyone. I would love to get out skating as much as the next person, but yeah, if I have a kid
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
job, so the kid in the job have to come first
yeah.
in
They
most
come
cases,
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
So congratulations is in order. When the last time we spoke, you were not officially on Conjure. You were just getting, I think you just started getting wheels off them and you'd made a little like Instagram thing for them. And now
Mhm.
you're officially on by the looks of things. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that they brought me into the team maybe October or September, some one of those 2 months of last year.
Right.
So I am officially on their team.
That's been
Yeah,
going quite a while then. Yeah.
yeah. It has. I really enjoy skating their wheels. Lately, I've been skating their, I guess, cosmic wheels. I put them on the inside, so they're like 93A.
Right.
And then I do my 50/50 softer wheels on the outside, which are also 58 millimeter wheels. And that way the Conjure wheels last me a little bit longer because 93A wheels are very difficult to come across, definitely with that type of profile. So
Yeah.
it
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could, let's say that they give me 8 wheels that could last me for like, I don't know, like half a year at least because
Okay.
because of using the 50/50 wheels on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah,
with
they
it,
last me.
yeah, with the amount
Yeah.
you skate, that's quite a testament. Like,
Yeah, no, those wheels are really, really good.
right.
Yeah, both 50/50 and Conjure wheels are like, yeah, I would say that another comparable brand that I obviously don't skate for would be Undercover. Those are other like really, really good wheels as well. Those are my opinions. Maybe other
Um,
people have. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'd go along with that. Yeah, they're building up. It kind of just seems like Conjure's just getting bigger and bigger because all the wheels are selling out. It seems to be faster every time. Like they're pretty much impossible to get a hold of, and the team is getting stacked. Like they've got quite a sizable team now.
Yeah, there's maybe 9 of us, 10 of us on the team.
Yeah, like they only announced Coco, Joey Chase, and Chad Hornish not that long ago. That was like an
Yeah,
extra 3 straight on. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. They added me at the same time, so like there's that was an extra 4. Yeah, that's
and they already had like
yeah.
5 or 6 people on the team.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
turning
yeah.
into a
There's like
big
nine
team.
of us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's like 9 of us now. Yeah, we're an
Um,
actual team now. Yeah, one big happy family.
and the last time we spoke, you were trying to, like you were wearing them skates all the time. It seemed like you were, trying to get hooked up by them, and now you're riding razors. So what the hell happened there?
So I think that last time we spoke, there was kind of a conversation that I didn't want to talk about, but I'm okay to talk about it now. I
Okay.
feel comfortable talking about it because it's just I came to the realization that like I think it's fine to talk about the truth of things that happen. Now, I don't think it's okay to have a negative kind of commentary. I think it's important to let individuals come up themselves what they think about the situation. They could analyze it themselves and come up with their own conclusion and their own opinion about it. So when I went to Winter Clash last year, well, okay, so before I went to Winter Clash last year, I want to say July timeframe of 2019, I cracked a pair of them skates. It was
Right.
summer, and then I had a conversation with John. There was an understanding. I just told him like, hey, like I think that you should test your products a little bit more before releasing it because I was raised very, very poor, and it would have sucked for my mom, single mother, my dad being in prison, having to buy skates for me and my brother because I have a twin brother that also skated. That would really suck. It came from a very close place to the heart. Kind of thinking of like a
Yeah.
single mother having to buy kid skates. Personal experience, obviously. Not everybody has dealt with that kind of situation. So then Winter Clash came along, and mind you, I've been skating for 16 years of my life, and I've been raised very, very poor. I came to this country on a fucking boat. Like, I've worked my way up to kind of be in the position where I'm at as an engineer, and to be able to save up money and travel to Europe coming from a very poor background, being first generation immigrant in this country is very, very difficult. And that is a dream that I have been able to achieve, to go to Winter Clash. So I was allowed to compete in the pro competition in Winter Clash, which is great. So I get over there, and 3 nights before the competition, my dem skates cracked. And I talked to John about it, and he couldn't give me a pair of 909s, which was fine because he hadn't released them yet. It was the 908 boot that cracked. He hadn't released a 909 yet. And John and I talked, and he's like, I'm going to try to get you a pair before your competition. So I got a pair like 4 hours before my heat, which is terrible because I don't think I'm the most skillful skater out there. So it's like,
breaking in new skates sucks.
Yeah. I need every advantage that I could get. And my body was fucking conditioned. Like, I was working out a lot. Like, I was fucking ready for this competition. And I was very, very scared to try to skate with the broken skates. So I didn't skate with them. So I was trying to break in these skates, like between the heats of other people skating back and forth. And I did terrible Winter Clash. I don't want to blame it on the skates, the whole situation completely, but it was definitely a variable, a very big factor.
Plus, like you said, if you have Asperger's as well, and then that happens, surely that.
Yeah, no, it was. I was like completely fucking like, I was like talking to my buddy Zach, like, damn Zach, like, what do I do? Like, you know, like, this is like a dream of mine. Like, I'm gonna make the best out of it, obviously, but like, this sucks. Like, 16 years of skating, and then my fucking skates cracked 3 nights before, you know, like, this competition that I, like, even in a dream, it sounded like it wasn't going to happen, you know, like, so I come back to the States. I'm obviously using the pair of skates that John gave me. They work great in the summertime. The 908 boot, it was working great. And then this is 2020 now.
Yeah.
So I shift to the gray 909 boots, and I skated those for like 2-3 months. Those boots are amazing. Like, I don't know what it is about skating a boot during humid climate and then going into the colder weather. I think that it does some sort of humidifying process that makes the plastic less brittle. There's actually a PhD paper on this that I was reading because I was very interested in it. I got very interested in this because my skates kept on fucking cracking. And I was like wondering, like, what the hell is going on? You know, there must be something going on here. So the gray boots were amazing. I skated them a little bit throughout colder weathers, like 40 degrees, and they work just fine. And I still have them. I'm going to send those to Cuba. They shouldn't have any issues with those skates over there. And then I went and I bought a pair of the white 909s from Oak City. And then I bought sole plates from the Dem Skates or the Dem Goods website, just because I always like having extra sole plates since I skate a lot of ledges. And then in the same time that I received my 909 white skates, John had sent me a package with skates, which was kind of cool. He hooked it up with skates. Yeah. Like, that's awesome. You know, like, I really, really appreciate that. And I'm really, really grateful for it. And I was working on the Hot Boy Summer Edit, which the name is kind of funny because
I love the name. I love how some people are like pissed about it as well. I remember I posted it on the Facebook thing and someone was like, "Oh, don't call it that. That's gay." And I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Shut up.
Fucking
that's such an idiotic response.
Yeah. Also, it's funny because
you get hot boys, right? You can get hot boys. Yeah. It doesn't make you like you can. You can say a guy is hot without it being gay. Like, some guys are just hot, right? Shut the fuck up. But yeah.
The reason why I named it that was because it was just named like Yandriel Silverio 2020 summer. And then my friend Carly, she was like, "No, you got to name it something different." And then I was like, "Oh, Hot Boy Summer." She started laughing. She's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yes.
You know? So
I fully support Carly. That was a good decision on her part. I like it. Right?
Yeah. So it was definitely her feedback on that. So thank you, Carly. So while I was editing that video, I reached out to John, And I was like, hey, what do you think about putting the Dem Skates logo on this? You've hooked it up with skates. And I think that I forgot exactly what I wrote, but I sent him the link to the video before I posted it. And he never replied. So I kind of figured that, these skates that he sent me were probably a replacement for, what happened in Winter Clash. Maybe he felt bad. So he sent me an extra pair of skates. And I'm like, I don't need 2 pairs of skates. I'm going to, with my own money, send these skates to Nigeria. So I send with my own money these skates that John sent me to Nigeria with the liners and everything. I threw some frames on them, some wheels, bearings. They had a whole setup. I forgot who from Nigeria was skating them, but Dan gave it to one of his closer buddies, and he was using them, and the dude was tagging me, and it felt awesome watching somebody use these skates.
Yeah, man.
So then late October came around, and I set up, or mid-October came around, and I set up the white 909 Dem skates that I bought from Oak City, and 5 weeks later, those cracked.
Well, and were they all cracking in the same place or in different place? Like what aspects of it?
There's I think that there's a certain path of least resistance that the impact takes, and it cracks through the eyelet areas.
Right. So in the boot, because I thought you'd said
that's what happened to me, at least. Yeah. That's what happened to me, at least. Maybe people don't have this kind of experience.
Did you see what the cuffs had cracked as well on you, or have I just
that's
in my head?
That's another. Yeah, it's probably somebody else. I saw pictures of cuffs cracking, so you probably saw that from somebody else's story post. However, I never posted any pictures of these cracks because I don't know. I don't want to put myself in a position where people dislike me. People could get very emotional and be upset about it. However, it is the truth, and people got to accept the truth of certain situations. And as I said earlier, this is my story. You could take it as you like, whatever opinion you have over me. If it changes because I'm telling you about a situation that I went through and an experience.
Yeah, if you buy a product and it breaks, there's not really much you can do. Yeah. So it's interesting though, because there's other places in North America that have like greater extremes of weather than where you live. Like you'd think people like Danny Beer would be breaking stuff regularly then.
Yeah, but I also don't think people like Danny Beard would say anything about it. But I did see a lot of New York skaters posting their cracked 909 boots, and I obviously didn't feel good about seeing that because I don't want a product. Maybe it's not even the product. Maybe it's the manufacturing process. There's just so many variables. It's hard to determine. It's a very precise science. I want to say, like, maybe it's just the white that's brittle, or maybe it was just those lots that are brittle because they didn't heat up the machines correctly, or there's just so much behind this. So I saw a lot of pictures, probably over 10 different pairs of boots cracking on stories and stuff. So I'm like, okay, it's not my skating. It isn't just me. Like, but I still need to find a different boot to skate because I can't show up to Winter Clash again next year. And, I don't want to risk that. So I obviously didn't know what to do at the time. So I messaged John. I was obviously a little bit bummed out about everything. And I was like, hey, man, this just happened. Like, I sent the skates that you sent me to Nigeria. I don't have an extra pair of boots. So John went and he sent me a pair of skates to Miami because I was driving to Miami that week. So that next day, they had the Colt Shima release. And I've been wanting to try Colt skates for a while now because it's very comparable to the Nib skate. It's actually the same boot, I found out during all the asking around and, trying to figure out what my size would be. And I bought my own pair of Shima skates. And I love the skates. I put them on and I'm like, dude, I'm going to make a quick Shima edit. Why not? So I made that edit, and strange enough, John messaged me and he was like, hey, could you send me those skates back? Like the skates that he sent me for warranty. And I definitely took that to heart because it's like, damn, man, I've been promoting your brand for like nothing, like been breaking skates, like, at Winter Clash. And like, that's when I kind of like, I'm like, I got a little bit bummed out. That's when I really got bummed out. I'm like, oh man, this really sucks. Like I didn't expect that from him, like that kind of like, so, literally 10 minutes after I posted my edit, he messaged me, and he has never messaged me before. He's never initiated a conversation with me.
You said,
so I was a little bit bummed out.
Sorry, so you said he sent you a pair of skates, then you made like a section with them and sent him a link, and he didn't reply. But then you sent him another message saying the skates were broken, and then he sent you a pair. So he didn't reply to the message with the edit, but he did when you said.
Okay, no. So the edit that I made was with the gray skates.
Right.
But during the filming of that, he sent me the white ones. So I had asked him, hey, would you like me to put the Dem skates lower? Which is totally fine. I'm, like if, he doesn't have to reply to me. I'm nobody. He could literally ignore my message. Like he doesn't have to reply to every message he gets. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I'm not complaining about that part. That's fine. I accept that. Like it is what it is. Maybe he sent me the skates because of what happened in Winter Clash, or maybe he liked my skating and he's like, hey, I want this dude to keep on skating them skates. I like his skating. I fuck with it. Send me a pair of skates. I don't know. That's fine. The mystery behind that, I would probably not get an answer for or figure it out. And I'm totally fine with that. I kind of like it being a mystery. Makes things a little bit more interesting.
Right.
But I cracked those skates in 5 weeks, and then I bought the Shima skates, the Colts, because I wanted to try a new boot. I'm like, man, I need to figure something out. I can't like continue to skate the same skates I'm gonna break my fucking ankle one day. Like that's my thinking. My thinking is one day I'm gonna come off a rail and break my fucking ankle. And I'm just
you could have just got really unlucky. You could have just happened to get the few pairs that had manufacturing defects.
Four pairs.
Although that would be very
four
unlucky.
different.
I can
four
see
different
that
lots.
Would be very unlucky. Yeah. Okay.
Four pairs, 4 different lots. Like that's. However, the gray ones were really, really good on me, and the black 909s or the black 908s that I got at Winter Clash, those were really, really good on me as well. I think there's something that goes on during that skating it in the heat. I think there's some sort of process that makes the skate less brittle. I think there's something going on there. So I think that's what's behind that. I don't think it's the design that's bad. I think it's the manufacturing process. But I don't know. I'm not a manufacturing engineer when it comes to, I guess, plastic injection or however this is manufactured. I'm not a manufacturing engineer for that, so I don't 100% know.
All right.
So I made my little co-edit. I was really, really happy about it. John asked me to send the skates back, and then I cleared some things up. I'm like, hey man, I think there's a misunderstanding. I actually paid for these skates. Send them a copy of my Oak City skate shop receipt, just so that there could be, a clear understanding of like the truth. Because I don't want him to.
In case in case he thought maybe you were getting hooked up by them, and he was also. I get what you mean.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't getting hooked up by Razor. I bought those skates, like with my own money. And conversation, he was like, okay, got it. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like he understood it. I told him that I was going to send those to Cuba, and I think I think that's a good answer. Like I support a lot of the skaters in Cuba. We send them packages every year. I've sent them like maybe 3 or 4 pairs of them skates that I've had, and a couple other skates, and like wheels and frames and bearings. Like we're always hooking up the Cuban skaters a lot because I'm Cuban, and I always got to look out after my peoples. Like I think it's really important. But yeah, that kind of bumped me out. I think there was a fall off in my skating because of that for a couple months. I was what bumped me out the most is the skates cracking. I was like a little bit depressed for a little bit because skating is so important to me. Like there's like 4 to 5 months where I was just like dressing in like terrible looking baggy clothes, just like not caring about what my skating looked like. Right. I was just like going out and just skating. Like I didn't care about my appearance. I feel nice when I wear something that I feel good about, and then I go out and skate, so it's like there was a shift in my skating during that period, and I'm sure you saw it for a slight second. Yeah.
I don't know
Skate,
how, I
skate.
don't
Like
know
I
how
said,
much
skating.
close. Yeah, I don't know how close attention I
Yeah,
paid to the clothes, but right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Skating is really important to me. So like any minor thing could like, and like I said, I have Asperger, so it's
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
a
Like
lot of
the
yeah,
two
yeah,
things, like
yeah, yeah.
a
So it's like
person who doesn't have Asperger's, like
yeah,
like I will get bummed out if I have like 2 or 3 bad sessions in a row, and they'll be
yeah,
like start questioning everything and be like, "Why am I doing this?"
yeah,
Also have
yeah,
that to contend with as well,
yeah,
like what you have. Then yeah, that's
yeah,
it's going to just multiply everything in your head. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I started skating coat boots, and there's plenty of people that skate the dem skate boots that have no issues with them. Maybe it's because they got a lot that wasn't bad or something. I don't know. I don't know the truth behind that. I'm just talking about my experience, and that's it. That's what happened with the dem skates boots. And I would have more than willingly kept on buying the boots if they didn't crack on me. Like I make good enough money as an engineer. I don't really need a company to hook it up. Like I rather companies hook up people that can't buy skates. Like I think that's a lot cooler. But yeah, so I started skating coats, and I am very excited about them. I haven't skated them in cold weather yet, so
Okay. Oh
there's
God. Oh God.
there's that variable. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
So, but
I hope they hold up.
you're now getting hooked up by razors though. So how did that happen?
Yeah. So I was skating the Shima boots, and the way that the stitching of the skin goes on, it takes up a little bit of the toe box area,
Right.
and that part, it was just like a perfect fit. And um, I reached out to Jeff, and I was like, hey, like, do the other coat boots feel like this? Because it fits almost perfect, but there's a little bit of tightness here. And he was like, um, no, there should be a little bit more space in the boots without the skins. He was like, I don't want to step on any toes, but could I send you a pair of the graphite boots? And I told him, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I would love to try them out. Like I need to find a skate to skate. And those worked perfectly. Like they were just wonderful. Like I was very, very happy with those. And then he reached out. He sent me a message. He was like, hey, do you want some new boots? And then he showed me a picture of the All Stars, and I'm like, oh, those are kind of sick. Like, yeah, I want them. Like, why not? If you're offering, I'll take them.
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you on that, but okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, there you go.
I thought it was a joke when those were first announced because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
Josh Petty like Tipex a pair of skates last year, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
Tipex them exactly like that to make them look like Converse. And then when
yeah.
I got that skate out, I was like, this has got to be like some kind of April Fool's thing. And then when I
Like a meme. Yeah,
I could not believe that was for real. But
yeah,
okay. So I'll
yeah. It's for
respectfully
real.
disagree with you. But okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. So I received those boots, and he was like, "Hey, if you want to send a couple clips my way, we're trying to work on a release edit." So I thought that was really cool that he included me in that. I like being part of projects that gives me a very goal oriented, as you could tell.
Yeah.
I like setting up goals and trying to achieve them, and sometimes I fail, and that's totally fine as well. But yeah, so like that really helped me out, like kind of having like that goal in mind. And it was difficult for me to get all those clips because I had just recovered from COVID. So
What? You never told
yeah,
me. When did that happen? When did you get that?
yes, a couple days, maybe like February 12th, maybe February 10th.
So did,
A couple days after the whole Winter Clash thing, and I thought it was just like stress from like
I spoke
achieving all those.
I spoke to
No,
you
no,
after
no,
Winter
no, no,
Clash.
no. It was this year,
Oh,
this year, this
online
year,
Winter
this year.
Clash got you.
Yeah,
Online
yeah,
Winter
yeah,
Clash,
yeah.
right.
Online Winter Clash, yeah. So I thought it was like the stress from trying to get all those things done, or the goals or the challenges or whatever they're called done. But it wasn't. It was COVID, and I'm asthmatic, so it fucking
Ah,
destroyed.
right on.
Yeah,
You
I was
just
16 days.
you cannot catch
Yeah,
a break.
yeah, patellar tracking disorder, COVID, and like yeah, I'm waiting to get vaccinated. I still have to wait 20 more days because you got to wait a 90-day period after. So I could not wait to get vaccinated because it really fucked me up. It fucked me up for like a month because it fucked me up. I had it for 16 days, breathing issues because I'm asthmatic. So it
Yeah.
really, imagine only being able to intake like 25% of your oxygen or even less than that almost into your lungs. You just feel like you're choking all the time. It
Were
sucks.
you
You start.
hospitalized or
No, I wasn't. I wasn't, but maybe I should have been. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. You start feeling claustrophobic, like in your room, and like it's just like it's a terrible experience. Thankfully, everyone else in the house is vaccinated, so
okay.
yeah. I don't I don't know how I got it. I don't even.
I mean,
I skate with like four. Yeah, I skate with like four people, so it's like okay,
you
like
could
this.
have got it from
Yeah,
touching a surface, or you could have got it
yeah,
from
maybe.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got it, and then that took me 16 days off of doing any activities, and then it was like another 2 weeks to recover after. Like my muscles were just feeling sore. So during the one of the last weeks after I was testing negative, like the so like a week and a half after I tested negative, that's when I got the all-star skates, and I kind of pushed myself to get back into it. It kind of helped me out too. It kind of helped me get back into the mindset of like getting clips, and yeah. So I'm thankful for that opportunity to be able to work on something with a group of people
I
of
mean,
very talented skaters, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope raisers appreciate the fact that you came out of
Yeah.
you came out of illness to get clips.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they knew that till after.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Everyone speaks very highly of Jeff Acers. I've only ever met him like briefly at Winter Clash, and I don't think he knew who I was. I just kind of said hello and was polite. But yeah, everyone he seems to hook up so many people with skates, like people that you don't even realize are sponsored by razors. And it's like, oh yeah, Jeff sent me like pairs, or like, hooked them up with
Yeah.
whatever
I
over the
think
years.
yeah, I think he's very smart. I think he sees like an opportunity, and he's like, "Hey, let me hook up this skater." Like why not? Maybe that skater brings something to the table that somebody else is not bringing. Maybe a different aesthetic, a different style, different type of skating, and maybe he hooks them up, and it could bring more clients in that like their type of skating. I don't know. Who knows? But I think he's very smart on the way that he does it because I know he hooks up quite a bit of people. Um, I just wish that Razor would actually give out pro bottles to people and get skaters paid
I
because
mean,
that
they
could be
did.
very.
Derek
Yeah,
Henderson's now had
yeah,
two pro skates in
yeah.
less than a
That's
year.
sick. That's sick. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. But that's only one pro skate in a year. Like
This is true.
like yeah. It. I think that if they were to bump up skate prices $10 to $15 and give those $10 to $15 to the pro skater, that could make skating a lot more sustainable because that money will go back into skating. And then younger generations will look at it and be like, hey, you could actually make a living out of this. Maybe I could make 30K out of this a year. And with, like a side gig, like maybe work a part-time job on the side or something. And that can make skating very sustainable. It'll keep us going for the long run, not for the short 400% sales increase that we've had in the past year because of COVID. I think it'd be very sustainable. So I think that all companies should follow a similar model to what Them Skates is doing. Yeah, very respectable in that sense. Yeah,
I don't. I don't think it's as simple as like just adding 15 onto a skate, because obviously there's the different processes like distribution and sales, and like it would be very difficult for a manufacturer to just do that and then there's too many.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at very linear. There's other variables as well, but I think that a skate costing $10 or $15 doesn't make the difference between an adult buying them or not.
True.
Like I've never looked at a skate and have been like, hey, I'm not going to buy it because it's $15 more than this other skate that I thought I wanted.
Yeah.
That's never been the case for me. Like, and a lot of my friends have similar situations. Like inline skating is such a cheap sport compared to other sports. Like,
oh, definitely.
It's
compared
not
to like
expensive at
mountain
all.
bikes and snowboards and skis and stuff like that. Yes. Isn't like people complaining about the price of skates. It's like the skates have actually, like, most Majestic 12s were more expensive in the 90s than they are now. So it's like, skating's the only thing that hasn't followed inflation. Like skates have not got that much. New products are more expensive, but Majestic 12s when I was rollerblading in 1995, 1996 were over £270 for a full setup. Now you can get a pair of Majestics for like 150.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like a gray area conversation too, though, because we could say the same thing about like electronics, like the price of cell phones, they've gone down. You get what I'm saying? Or like, certain computers,
iPhones
like the price of computers.
iPhones have shot up.
Yeah, because that's the iPhone, and they try to like
other
make money that they should. Yeah.
Other mobile phones have got cheaper because they have to compete with.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that like with the amount of manufacturing technology that has evolved over the years, it's probably cheaper to make a plastic boot now than it was back then. That's what I'm saying. Like manufacturing processes, like they've evolved. We have very mainstreamed, very sustainable, like assembly lines, and I'm telling you this because I work as a sustainability engineer as well as design. So like,
certain materials got more expensive over the years, and now,
agreed, yeah.
And now you have to pay people fair wages, whereas before you could get away with paying them anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a gray area. There's a lot of variables to look at. Like you would have to lay out all the variables on the table and be like, okay, let's look at one by one and let's discuss them. But I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle of what I'm saying and what you're saying. Like, you just got to go through everything. And yeah, because I have seen people say that, plastic boots haven't moved with inflation. And I'm just like, but then again, manufacturing processes are very, very sustainable now. Like, and they've evolved. So it's definitely a conversation that could take place, and it could take hours after looking at every single variable.
Hours. I think you're being optimistic there. Hours would be great.
But I would love to know the truth behind that. That'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
So if somebody feels motivated enough to do that research, by all means, I would read it. Well, and I'll probably be the only person to.
Yeah, it would involve more companies being transparent, and certain companies definitely do not want to offer any transparency.
Yeah, there should be, but yeah.
So you've joined Razors, like I'm guessing you're like flow for them at the moment, or have you? Do you know what's going on with your relationship with the brand, or are you just happy to get skates? Or
there's no commitment. It's just like, it is what it is. Like the way that I look at it, I'd pay for the Coke boots regardless. So
fair enough. Like you've joined the brand at like quite a tumultuous time for it, because in the past 12 months, like 18 months, so many people have quit Razors. It's actually quite. I don't think I've ever seen so many people quit a brand like in such a concentrated period.
Yeah. People need to focus on themselves, man. Like people have to look out after themselves. Like if they feel like, hey, like I'm not growing with this brand and they're not going to give me the opportunity that I feel I deserve, look somewhere else, like you need to look out after yourself, the individual, like I think it's very important.
Because you're obviously on brands with Stefan Brando and John Fromm, and they both are former riders from Razor. Have you?
They both got very strong opinions.
Have you seen their episodes of Platform?
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah. And that's their experience, and I believe it, and I completely respect it. Like, I think that, and I believe it. I 100% believe their experience. Like, and I've heard similar experiences from a lot of people.
What's your take on that then? Like as someone
I haven't had a bad experience.
I don't mean in that sense. I mean as in the sense that as a skater, you're now attaching your brand or your image or your reputation to that company, and it's a company that a lot of people are speaking negatively on at the moment. Yeah.
So I guess my spiel about Razors, hey, you should make skate boots $10 to $15. On the current price, like add that to the current price of the boots and give it out to some skaters. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. I think that's
as far as you're delving into that.
Yeah, it's like the one thing they're judged for. Like they're judged for like not giving pro boot opportunities to skaters that deserve it.
I don't think that's. I think that's like the skate populations, or the kind of demographics response to it, which I would say is quite childish and short-sighted. I don't think that's the main issue that they're being criticized for. I think they're being criticized for not having great communication with people that they're meant to be sponsoring, and skaters that they're sponsoring basically under the belief that they're being manipulated or lied to.
Okay. I guess from a lot of the interviews that I've seen, like the main points that I've heard have been like hey, I didn't get an opportunity, or they didn't. I guess some people say that they weren't recognized as much as they should have been. Yeah, so it could go back to communication. Yeah, 100%.
So, like, if they're involving you in doing promos and stuff like that, then they're obviously, like, I would say that's a positive sign that they want you to be more involved with the brand. Like, I've heard they're working on apparently they're working on a Derek Henderson promo, but if you don't skate the SL, then you wouldn't be involved in that.
Yeah. They've been, I think maybe, this is what I think I've seen. I could be wrong about this. This is just an assumption that I'm making. I think that they've separated different types of skaters. There's the coat boot skaters.
Yeah.
Then there's the shift, and then the SL boot skaters. So I think that there's 3 different types of groups. Maybe there's a change of heart about kind of creating a more sustainable environment for skating. I don't know.
They definitely seem to be promoting the cult again, where I know for a while that skaters were just like actively discouraged from riding it and told not to use it. And now it seems like they've created this little niche market of skaters on their team and like to their, sales demographic, where it kind of seems like they're promoting that model again, which it seems not an odd move, but it just seems kind of strange to have such a U-turn and change of heart, being like, oh no, we're not, we don't care about sales about this. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're going to try and sell this. Yeah.
I think they see that like that specific type of plastic boot selling.
I mean, it's a good boot.
It's a good boot. Like, it's a good boot. Like, it's selling, and why not make some money out of it? Because I don't. There's a lot of people that are buying it. So
I think this is the first topic that I've asked you questions on that you finally froze up and not went down a rabbit hole of conversation about.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think about like what like my actual opinion on it, not just give out like a bullshit answer. I want to be honest about it.
When you started like riding the skates and started getting hooked up, and people you knew, like, and people you skate with found out, did anyone say anything about it? Like anyone you skate with, or any people that you like are on brands with, like other sponsors with? Because obviously you're on 50/50 in Conjure.
I have got quite a bit of feedback. A lot of people have told me to be careful, and if things get a little bit more serious, to kind of communicate, like you said, communication, and identify the things that I expect from them. So that has been some of the feedback that I've gotten. Moving forward, if you ever decide to get serious with them, make sure that you tell them what you expect from them as a company. So that's some feedback. I've gotten that type of feedback from quite a bit of skaters.
Yeah.
Both skaters that have skated for Razors and from skaters that haven't, that have just heard stories from their friends, I'm assuming, or I guess I haven't. I've only been skating the coat boot since like December.
Yeah, that's not.
I haven't really. Like maybe in a year I'll have a completely different answer to this. Like I think that. As of right now, I haven't.
Get you on in 2022, and you're like, right. So I'm going to talk some shit about Razors right now. No.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I don't want people to take it as shit talking. I just want to take it as like, hey, this is my experience. Like, take it as you please. If you dislike me for this, then by all means, go ahead. Like there was a funny shift on when I stopped skating them skates. People that would always message me and like fuck with my skating, that just kind of stopped, and I'm just like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, people don't really care about the individuals sometimes. That's quite
interesting that you say that, because I've put up a couple of them like product reviews over the past few years. Like I did one for the Sean Dar skate, I did one for the frames, and now like people contact me as if I'm in some way connected, and I'm like, I have nothing to do with, like, I'm a consumer, like I buy these products, and they're like, oh, what can you tell me about this or about this? And I'm like, I don't have insider information for you. I have no contact with John Julio whatsoever. I don't know what.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. I meant people.
I know what you mean. You're saying that. It's just quite interesting that if you like attach yourself to any brand in a certain way, people just make these assumptions. And like you said, like you started skating the thing, so people are like, oh, like they're like, oh, fuck with Yandriel because we're in them skates, and then all of a sudden you're not, and they're like, all right, now we're done with him.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, but I have had a lot of people that have, when I was skating them skates, they would message me and be like, hey, what's your setup? A lot of Hispanic skaters, which is amazing.
That's like, pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, damn it, like
it's
this
relatable.
is great. Like,
they're like,
yeah,
he's one of us.
So they'll message me, they'll send me voice messages and be like, hey, like what are you skating right now? Like, I'm thinking about, the balance frames, with the 909 boot, and then when I switched over to Colts, I've had people like, hey, like, what's the difference between the small 909 and the 6.7 Colt boot? Like, I'm thinking of getting some, or, like, and there's been like quite a bit of skaters. I'm actually surprised. Like, yeah, there's always, every time I get on Instagram, there's like somebody to answer back to, like some question of skates, or like, like, yeah. And I don't mind helping people out. I love helping people out. Like, yeah.
So what you're saying is,
and obviously if somebody's like lives like in a warmer climate, like I tell them that them skates, they're great skates. Like, like you shouldn't have an issue with them, like in a warmer climate. I guess we'll see how the Colt boot acts up in the cold.
Cool. I better not start getting death threats from like them skates, obsessives being like, I can't believe you just let him, say bad things about their products. I'm like, I have to go into hiding. I'm blaming it on you.
Yeah. I think bad is relative. I've said my experience about their product. I've never said their product is bad. I just talked about my experience. Yeah. Hopefully they watched the interview long enough to hear that part.
This is true. I'm also. I think I'm doing us a little bit too much credit by assuming that anyone would watch. Them would watch this far. Yeah. In that case, I'm perfectly safe. So, what does the future hold for you then? How much longer are you going to be in Miami for before you go back?
So I'm thinking of leaving this upcoming week or next week.
Okay.
Going to go back to Illinois, and there might be the possibility in the future for me to work remotely permanently. So I will be moving somewhere warmer. I don't know where yet. I
love how you just established your life over there. And the last time we spoke, you were like, "Yeah, I can't really deal with the winter, but I've figured it out." And now you're like, "Whoa, well, all bets are off. Now that I don't have to deal with it, I'm not going to deal with it." That's it.
Yeah. So I will be hopefully moving somewhere warmer end of this year or beginning of next year. So I'm not 100% sure.
Where would be the like desired locations because
I would like to move back to Miami.
Okay.
At least for 3 to 4 years. I want to finish my master's degree in engineering. Just because I feel like I really enjoy school. I enjoy it. I enjoy the whole learning process. Yeah. And being down here kind of helps me out quite a bit because I have my family. So there's like that support, like whenever I'm, like feeling a little bit under the weather, I could go see my family, my grandparents, my mom, my dad, whatever. Like, so that really helps out. Living in Illinois, I have tons of friends there, but it's not like the people that raised me, friends.
It's not the same. Like when you're near your family, it's a support network. Yeah.
So I want to be down here at least for my master's program, finish that up, and then who knows? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to move back down here. I don't know, but that would be ideal. That's goal-wise for my careers / education. For skating, I plan on doing another summer Chicago video.
Okay.
So I did Lake Effect last year. So I plan on doing a way shorter video because I do not want to edit 20 something minutes.
It's long. It's like it's a hard
Yeah,
process. I've made like a
yeah,
40-minute
yeah,
long video before, and it took
yeah,
a long time. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was my first video, like making that was that long. That was actually one of my first videos editing. That's like my second video that I've edited. So yeah,
So you think
but
about how much you question yourself just when you're making like a 2-minute section. You're like, God, does this song really actually work? Or have I made the right decision there? That cut
yeah,
doesn't look right to me. That
yeah,
that edit doesn't look. There's something just a bit strange about it. And then you apply that to like a
yeah,
40-minute video or like a 20-minute video, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm going to lose my mind.
yeah. There's that, and then there's the hey, I want to get my friends that were filmed in the video involved in the editing process. So I would send them drafts.
No,
I'm never doing that again.
no, you can't do
I'm never
that
doing that again. It
because then
was too
people,
late by the time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then they give your
yeah,
opinions and it's different to your opinion. You're like, but I don't. And you're like, I asked for your opinion, but now I don't want to take it.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah,
I'm just
don't.
like, hey, give me some songs you guys kind of like for your sections, and I'm gonna edit it how I want, and I might not even pick your song. Like that's gonna be like my like, hey, caution before working on a video with me.
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah. I have that
yeah,
problem
yeah,
with my friends. They're like, "Oh, I've been thinking about using this song," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm making it. You don't get a choice. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I will decide."
yeah. I want to say that the music selection for Lake Effect was really good, though. They really had good choices for music, so I trust them with that. And I also liked their feedback. It was good, but some of it was like opinion based, and that's when it like, I guess all of it is opinion based, but some of it was opinion that not all of us had the same opinion on. So it's like it's like that's when it got messy.
I love
Yeah,
how diplomatic you're being about that. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're going to work on another video, another crew video. When are you going to work on your Conjure Pro Wheel promo?
Uh, so that's a trick question, isn't it?
It's a trick question, but I'm really hoping you'll give me an answer that I like.
uh, I don't know. I do not know. Hopefully, there's opportunities coming in the future. I think there is. Maybe at the beginning of next year, I'll have something. Yeah, I want to keep all that a surprise, though. But yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. But there's beginning of next year. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, yeah.
Cool. So you get video, moving back to Illinois. Anything else that's going to happen next over the course of this year, or is that all you've got planned so far?
I'm probably gonna film some more skating. I don't know yet. I haven't thought that far ahead for skating.
I mean, knowing how
Work
productive
out.
you
I'm gonna work out a lot. Like
are.
I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna work out like every other day at least.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Blading Cup's a thing this year. I'm very excited about that if it's a thing. I hope it is.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Well, based on your current trajectory over the last 2 years, you're due at least another. You're due another 2 edits before the end of the year.
2 or 3.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 or 3.
Have
Or maybe
you got,
just 2.
have you got
I don't-
footage gathered already, or was everything used in the last project?
Everything was used in the last project. Like I said, it was kind of difficult because of the whole knee thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna go back home and just rest for not skate for 2 weeks and just work out. And then I think that my knees are gonna be in a really good position to start learning new tricks maybe for my next section.
All right. Do you consciously do that? Do you go, all right, well, I've done these tricks in this one, so for the next section, I either need to do new, different tricks, or I need to teach myself new tricks for that? You consciously do that. That's quite.
Yeah. Yeah. And I won't skate a similar spot. For example, in this last edit, I didn't do a wall ride. Like I had enough wall rides, I think, in my last parts. Yeah. I wanted to do a wall ride, but I didn't. Yeah.
I did not even notice that. Okay.
And I barely skate. I didn't skate a kink rail. I barely skated down rails. This was just like weird, creative. Just like all the spots were kind of random. Like, yeah. So I consciously do that. I don't want my edits to look like a remix of the previous edit. And I feel like a lot of skaters fall into that. Yeah.
That's what I do like
Yeah.
about your sections. I don't think they look like in any way samey or repetitive, apart from the fact that you obviously recognize that you have signature tricks that you are comfortable doing on, most objects like that. Is it the Ender and Lake effect, the half cab fish brain down that terrifying
Yeah.
looking wooden rail? Like that
Yeah.
is not the trick for that object. But yeah, when you did that, I was like, what? Um, that's a top acid or a top soul spot. That's not half cab anything. But okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, learning new tricks for each section. That's quite interesting. I've noticed. I don't think I've ever seen you like spin a gap. I think whenever I see you do a gap, it's
No,
usually
I don't do gaps.
actually
I
that's
could
not
maybe.
true. I saw you in is it?
Yeah, I did a 180. I did a 180 in this recent one.
No, there's
Oh, I did the fakie five. The fakie
Fakey Five and Lake Effect where you like eat shit in the first one. Yeah,
Yeah. Wasn't that the most awkward fakie five spin you've ever seen? Like, it just shows that it's out of my comfort zone. And I did it because I don't do them.
Right.
Yeah.
It also looked like that launch wasn't a launch. Like it barely kicked you up at all.
Terrifying.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Terrifying spot. Yeah. So
Okay.
I need more gaps. Thanks for the reminder.
There you go. There's my constructive feedback that you can choose to take on board or not take on board.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently learned 540s again, so.
I mean, I've no doubt, like the way you spin into and out of grinds, I've got no doubt in my mind whatsoever that you could probably do it over a moderate sized stair set or gap. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe I'll do some gaps.
Right. Cool. So if you do spins over gaps in the next section, that means I can take full credit for it.
I'll give you some credit.
Right. Sweet. That's all I ask.
10%.
10% of nothing is nothing. Right. Cool.
Yeah. If I don't do it, yeah.
I'll look forward to that. Well, hope the knee heals up. It sounds like, you're doing everything you need to do to get it working. Love the new section, as I'm sure many people do. I can't believe you were only going to put it on Instagram, because I feel like watching anything more than a minute on Instagram just feels weird. It feels like watching, I don't know, a film or a TV show on your phone, which to me, just still feels like such a strange experience. So glad we've got it on YouTube now, and can't wait to see what you work on next. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this today.
Yeah, thanks. How long? It's been like an hour and 40 minutes, and time has passed by really quickly. Yeah.
Well, I'm bitterly disappointed that your mum. I was hoping at one point your mum would come in and appear on screen or like scream at you.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed that never happened. So.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed too. That would have been part of the experience, but it wasn't this time around, sadly.
You promised me a genuine Cuban experience.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. Right.
Yeah. Thanks for this opportunity, by the way. And I also wanted to give a shout out to like all my friends down here in South Florida. Definitely my best friend Humberto. He really held it down while I was down here. Like, he went out of his way to go film with me and kind of gave me motivation. And sometimes I feel really, really accountable. Like, thinking about, I don't think Frankie was born in Cuba. So I think that I might be the first Cuban pro skater if I do become pro.
Okay.
So I feel like that's really important. And my friend Pablo's constantly pushing me and giving me constructive criticism on my skating and the way things are filmed and the way things are edited. My buddy Zach, he's like the younger one in the group, and watching him skate, I'm just like, fuck, I got to go try this rail, or I got to go.
Are you talking about Polak here?
Yeah, Zach Polak. Yeah.
You really need to film a section of him.
Yeah.
You need to get him to film a full part, because
he only wants to film Instagram stuff.
That's infuriating. I can't deal with that. Yeah. We want a full section out of him.
Yeah. My buddy Carlos, he was one of the skaters that got me into inline skating. Carlos Claveria. I want to give a shout out to him. He lives down here. Very close friend of mine. My buddy Jonathan, Gabby, this other dude named Franco that lives in Arizona now. All those buddies, they kind of got me into inline skating. Kind of done with my shout outs now.
My spiel. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's been great speaking to you. There's no doubt in my mind we will probably speak again at some point because you fire out sections at an unbelievable rate. So yeah, hope you keep it up and yeah, stay injury free. Speak soon.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.